gummy bear.
It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this for January 13th, 2023. For the next hour or so, let me help you sort through the world of gaming on Game Mess Mornings Live with me, Jeff Grubb. Today, Hollywood just needs to let John Carpenter make one video game movie before it's too late. But first, please join me in welcoming today's co-host of Game Mess Mornings. It's Tamoor Hussain. Tam, how are you doing?
I am doing fantastic, Jeff Grubb.
Yes, I knew it. I knew you were.
I am ready.
Yes.
John Carpenter is popping off on the internet about things. I am excited. Let's go. Let's do some news. You know, before we started, we said that we were going to deliver some high energy. And I promise you, people of the world, you will get high energy.
I am high and energy. Let's do this.
Yes, I am high.
Ready to do this. Listen, I don't know. You know what? I think I believe in us. I believe in you, Tam. I believe in myself. We're going to make this work. Before we do that, let's explain what we do here. Most weekdays, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart and energetic. If you are watching live on Twitch, hello, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings or find the RSS on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Okay, we have a lot to get into. Let's start the morning mess with Google, NVIDIA expressed concerns to FTC about Microsoft's Activision deal. This comes from Bloomberg. Here's the story. Alphabet Inc.'s Google and NVIDIA Corp, separately, obviously that's Alphabet does not own NVIDIA Corp, have expressed concerns to the Federal Trade Commission about Microsoft Corp's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. This adds fuel to the government's case against the $69 billion deal, according to people familiar with the matter. The companies joined Sony Group in raising issues with the transaction, which the FTC sued to block in December. The commission has argued that the deal would hinder competition in the video game industry and has scheduled an in-house trial for August. Either company could be called to testify as part of the FTC trial. Google and NVIDIA provided information that backs a key FTC contention that Microsoft could gain an unfair advantage in the market for cloud, subscription, and mobile gaming, according to the people who asked not to be identified because the process is confidential. In its remarks to the FTC, NVIDIA stressed the need for equal and open access to game titles, but didn't directly oppose the acquisition, according to one of the people. This feels like, well, yeah, of course you would have a concern if you were one of these companies, and this is the easiest thing in the world for them to be like, yeah, we have concerns, if this is being filtered through the FTC, it does feel like, and there you have it, Your Honor. And that's why the deal shouldn't go through. And it doesn't quite feel like that to me because, well, of course, they don't want more increased competition in the spaces they're trying to compete in, especially like on the Google side of things. If we don't look at NVIDIA and cloud gaming, which we can get to in a second, but like for Google, which doesn't really have a cloud gaming business anymore, but is a big player, a major player in the mobile space, it does have an essential monopoly on what people can access through Android, a major operating system in the United States. So of course it doesn't want that just disrupted, something that Microsoft has said it wants to try to do. So again, this and NVIDIA came out and said basically here that it doesn't oppose the deal. It just has some concerns. And I think it's, if that's where we're at with this still, that's what everyone has is concerns about this. A lot of people are unsure about this, right?
Yeah, it's basically a corporation is going, hey, we don't like this because we want to make money too.
Yeah.
Which is like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, concerns is literally what everyone has. But like, that's pretty much what is going to, and it makes sense for everyone to have concerns because it's a massive shift in the way the industry operates. Concerns is fine. But like NVIDIA going, we have concerns is like, okay, and? Mm-hmm. What else?
I mean, said and we don't oppose the deal. So,
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And like, I feel like Google is I don't know. I don't know if I want to hear about anything Google has to say about this. Like, shut your mouth. Like,
Yeah, actually,
you're worried about monopolies?
Are you
Oh,
still?
okay.
Are you supposed to be in timeout still? We put you in timeout
what's
for a
going
while.
on? Yeah.
You shouldn't be speaking up
Just
right now.
every time Google's like, we don't like this about video games, someone should go, how's Stadia going for you? You want
Yeah,
to, is that going well?
yeah. Go put your dunce cap back on. Get back in the corner.
Yeah. But like, it is understandable that people would raise these concerns because these are very valid concerns. It is, let's be honest, like Xbox and Microsoft understood when they embarked on this that they would face significant pushback on this, because the deal is one that will consolidate a major portion of the industry, and it will swing the balance of power in certain aspects of the industry, ranging from cloud gaming to mobile gaming to IP ownership, in Xbox and Microsoft's favor. That is a undeniable fact. But everyone is doing it always constantly. Like, it's happening everywhere, and like for us as consumers, sadly, there's not a lot we can do about it, which sucks. But it is like I said, it's bad for us in a lot of ways. But at the same time, this is like basically a bunch of corporations just having a bit of a pissing match and trying their best not to have key pieces that they want taken away from them. It's like, we want the ball too. So it's just like, I don't know. The trickle down of this is like, it sucks for us, but there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to watch these corporations battle it out and hope that by the end of it, like, whoever's in charge isn't completely shitty to us.
Yeah, and it's like they're not even really battling these guys. They're like lackadaisically like swatting at each other, and it's like, okay, it's not even entertaining like fighting amongst these companies. It's just sort of them being like, I guess it would be bad. I'm like, okay, what do we do with these complaints? But like,
and also like not to be like the FTC and FCC, like, and also like laws around consolidation and competition, they're kind of basically useless at this point. They're either like not being enforced properly, or like, look at where we're at. Like, the amount of, like, let's look at Disney, for example. If the competition and like anti monopoly laws were actually being implemented properly, and like people were really thinking about it, whether this is right, something like Disney as it exists right now wouldn't exist. Because it's insane how much shit Disney has. Like, Disney has basically entire industries under its umbrella, which is like, okay, we're at the stage where we're well past anyone caring about this stuff. So it feels very just like, it feels very empty. It feels very like just like we're just playing a part right now. So they need to make these objections. FTC won't really care about it, and by the end of it, it's going to happen. So when people look back at it and be like, was this all right? People could be like, no, we did the due diligence. Remember that one time when Google and Nvidia were like, oh no, please don't buy them.
Yep, and it's exactly, and it's so again, it feels like we're going through the motions, like you said, and then really, it feels hollow, because I think it is, Tam. I think what we're seeing here is both these companies are like, we think this deal's going to go through. We honestly don't mind if the deal goes through. We just want to make sure that we can get ours and get ours protected somewhere along the line. So if they get in on this process, if we're on NVIDIA's side of things, it's important to them to make sure that these games continue to be available on a platform in which they can stream them through their cloud gaming thing. Well, Microsoft is already committed to putting all their games out on Steam for the last several years. Doesn't seem like that's going anywhere. And so, and that's how NVIDIA GeForce Now works, is that you buy the games on Steam, and if they are, if there's a good deal in place, that you could stream the games you own through the cloud using NVIDIA GeForce Now, and they make them look all pretty and stuff like that. And also NVIDIA's like, hey, please make sure that deal's in place so we can keep doing that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and also like future proofing. NVIDIA is a hardware manufacturer as well, and it has worked on consoles in the past. So like, if they're just being, too effusive in how much they don't want this to happen, come next Xbox, where they're all, even right now, who knows, like, they could be in discussions to like, oh yeah, we'll put a NVIDIA graphics chip in our thing, but like, you act out in the way that Microsoft don't like, and they'll just be like, no, we're not using you. AMD for life, baby.
Yep.
But like, there's a lot of considerations, which I imagine why Nvidia is not being too effusive about their objections here. Google, on the other hand, is likely to be a little more kind of passionate about their displeasure around this happening. But like at the end of the day, Google, this is a small piece of a very, very large pie for them, and I don't think many people put much stock in what they have to say around this stuff. But you're right, though, they do have a vested interest in making sure the mobile market isn't snatched away from them, because like also Android, like the Android marketplace is a hot mess. So something like Microsoft can come in and give you a clear, direct, and kind of clean avenue to play games that are a big deal is a genuine worry for them. Like, we don't want Microsoft to be able to just roll up to our customers and be like, hey, hit 2 buttons and you've got a Forza running in the game. We need them to come and play Knife Fort.
Yes.
Which they will download, infect their phone with spam and spyware and take all their details.
Yep. And I think that's, you're right. So like Google's in a position where it's, it can be more aggressive, and even it's kind of not being super like again, we don't really know. It just says it raised concerns, and then between the two of the companies, we just know that Nvidia doesn't oppose the deal, but Google would have reasons to want to be like, hey, we should block this so they don't have the content, so they can go create a competing store that we have to deal with, because all these other laws are coming around saying you have to let people sideload stores on their phones. You can't lock things down anymore. I mean, I don't think that's ever going to be a real threat to embedded stores on mobile phones, but it is something that Google would have to be mindful of, and they don't even want to have to deal with it. So, yeah, this is their chance to squash that. NVIDIA, though, obviously does believe it's going to be able to probably make an agreement with Microsoft to be like, hey, can we make sure those games keep coming? And Microsoft's probably going to be like, yeah, it's just by having the name, have them be named here as part of the concerns, they could probably expedite that process and just make sure it's there and ready for them to take up.
I actually hope Google is objecting, because it secretly has a console in the making, and they're very excited. Yeah, that's what I want to see happen, because I just love to see Google taking L's now and then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, what would they call it? The
what was it? Stadia? Stadia.
Well, the
Google,
Chromecast is what they use to actually stream Stadia. Yeah.
Google Gamecast.
Yes,
is it? They call it Gamecast, and then the headline is Google being sued by Kinda Funny, and then Kinda Funny like wins, and Google is like, "Fuck, we can't win against anyone."
Oh my god!
This is Greg Miller, man. God damn it! Why is he coming up to all these court cases?
Eric Courtney's the new CEO of Google. How did that happen?
How did this happen?
Good for him. All right, let's move along here. Here's a not so fun one. High on Life and Rick and Morty creator Justin Roiland is facing domestic violence charges. This comes from Tom Ivan.
It's really easy to not be shit person.
Yeah.
It's so easy. It's really easy, guys.
Yep.
You don't have to do much. Just be normal.
Why are they everywhere? It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
God damn! I saw a tweet earlier today. I wish I had written down who said it, but like there's some dude out there that really loves Channel 5 and Rick and Morty, who's having the worst week of his life. It's like, damn. Yeah, right.
Let's see. The story is Rick and Morty and High on Life creator Justin Roiland has been charged with felony domestic violence in California. According to NBC News, he's been charged with 1 count of domestic battery with corporal injury and 1 count of false imprisonment by menace, violence, fraud, and or deceit. The charges are in connection with a 2020 incident involving a woman Roiland was dating. Roiland was reportedly arrested and released on a $50,000 bond, in August 2020 and arraigned in October 2020. Having pleaded not guilty to the charges at the time, he appeared in court on Thursday for a pre-trial hearing. A trial date has not been set yet. This is the kind of thing where it's like, man, this happened 2 years ago and we're just hearing about it now. Now, I think on that front, the person that is involved in this on the other side is being brought up in the court case as a Jane Doe. I bet she likely made sure that this story wouldn't be in the news, because if her name gets out there, she's going to face a lot of harassment, right? Because of who Justin Roiland is, right?
I mean, that people have said, like, it's already been said that the name's been protected to avoid harassment. And
okay, they've explicitly said that.
Yeah,
yes.
I believe that's been said somewhere. Apologies if I read that.
I mean, it makes sense to me. Yes.
Yeah, I think that like the worst part of this is like this is not just like taking that measure and staying out of the spotlight is tricky, because not only will you have people who are like weird people like Justin Roiland defenders, you'll have like an entire portion of the population who are just weird about women standing up for themselves, which is just normal. Like, they're just out there, they're mobilized. If you publicly say something bad's happened to you, these weirdos will find you and ruin your life. So it makes perfect sense for this person to just be like, I don't want my name anywhere near this. But as you said, it's surprising that this has been like flying under the radar for this long. And like, it kind of retroactively makes a lot of people feel shitty, because it's like, damn, an entire game was like created and like the PR went out about it, and no one knew about this. So it makes people feel a bit icky in like retrospect, where it's like, damn, I just, I did a big old interview with this, like, because he was out doing promotional material, like cards on the table. Like, they offered Justin Roiland up to us to like do interview stuff with, and we weren't able to do it because of other considerations. But like right now, I would have been like, damn, they fucking dodged a bullet. They don't want to be associated with that weirdness.
Yeah, they reached out to John Baum about him being on the Bombcast, and real quick, I was like, no, we can't have people like hawking their game on the Bombcast. But yeah, it's like I did say, hey, maybe you can come on Game S Mornings or something like that, and I was like, even at the time, I'm like, I don't know if I don't know. I've always gotten a weird vibe from Justin Roiland, but I also like try to second guess myself, because I'm like, am I just being the shitty one where I just assume like because this person's kind of aggressive and is throwing up some red flags, am I just reading into things too much? And sometimes I probably am. So this is not like some second sight thing or anything like that. No. But it's like, I'm like very glad those things didn't work out even before this news, and now reading this, it's like, oh my god, bullet dodge, Jesus Christ. Not this is about us, but still, like, of course you're like, it's still a feeling that I have. This is the kind of thing where someone in the Twitch chat mentioned that local news is dead, so that's probably why we haven't heard about it.
Yeah, true.
People need to know this. It needs to be out there. Of course, this is all alleged. He's only been charged with this stuff. We'll see. Though it's shitheads are everywhere, and boy,
that's like just to reiterate, covering our backs. This is all alleged stuff, and like the courts will go through it, but like, it's just why is it everywhere? Everywhere you turn, just I don't understand why these people who reach just insane levels of success are also being the worst people in the world. Just come on. It's like I said at the top, it's really easy to not be shitty. You can just enjoy the product of your hard work and not be a shitty person, man.
Yeah, his lawyers say we look forward to clearing Justin's name and helping him move forward as swiftly as possible. So that's what they're saying. A protective order was also filed against Roiland in October 2020, ordered him to stay at least 100 feet away from his accuser and not to harass, threaten, or surveil them. He was also ordered to hand over any firearms he owned or possessed to police until at least October 2023. So,
Jesus.
Okay. Well, let's move on here. Redfall to launch on May 2nd, according to a report. This comes from Darren Bonthus at GameSpot. Tying into a previous report, regarding the launch window of Redfall, industry insiders have narrowed down the potential release date to May 2nd. The leak comes from Ecstasis, who had, this is a leaker, who had accurately revealed details on Hideo Kojima's overdose.
Who? Ecstasis? We don't deal with it. We only deal with Denise.
Yeah, Denise Rumors is out there making shit happen. Of course, Denise Rumors on the scene, getting this quote here. If there was any doubt, Redfall can now be 100% confirmed with a release date of May 2nd, 2023. Denise Rumors provided that through Ecstasis. that also like backs up other rumors from like someone like Brad Sams, who's been saying something similar about May for that game. That sounds right. I 100% confirmed is always really strong language for anyone. As someone who, like, I could speak from experience. You never want to say 100% confirmed.
Someone who has had a haircut.
Someone who's had a recent haircut. Yes, don't say 100% confirmed. But yeah, that sounds right for this game, right? Because it's the right amount of time to like, it feels like, okay, we're gonna give Redfall a full delay, push it as far into the first half of this year as we can, while still releasing it in the first half like we promised, May, and then also still give June as a possibility for Starfield, right? Does that all make sense?
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I mean, like, nothing's 100% confirmed, obviously. But yeah, that timing makes sense. To me, I also like. I am dying to play this game, man. I am so ready to.
Yes.
I need a new Arcane game in my life. Just give it to me.
Yeah.
I'm desperate.
The things, the way they're talking about this game, I know this is down sound like a broken record to a lot of people in the chat, but like, 'cause I've been saying this on all the shows, but when they started talking about like, oh, it's Far Cry 2, but Arcane, like, what, really? That's incredible. Yeah, absolutely. Please do that. Just give me a systems-driven, quasi open space vampire Arcane game. Yeah, that's actually does sound so legit. So
I mean, like, I am extremely horny for Arcane games as is, and then this is like one of the Harvey Smith joints as well, and like we talked to him about it, and I was like, oh yeah, it sounds pretty amazing, man.
Yep.
And yeah, they make great games. So yeah, this is I'm excited that it's not that far away, or we have like a better time frame to a degree. Yeah. So yeah, bring it on, man.
And we'll find out more, right? In just a couple of weeks when they do that developer direct showcase. I'm betting that's when they have the release date. That's what Xbox Germany, the Xbox Wire in Germany said as much, that they'll give us the release date then. And then, I hope they really just set the table to show off what that game can be, which I hope it is. Just so much emergent, cool stuff combined with Arcane's ability for immersive sim stuff. That would be fantastic. Go ahead.
Do you think Starfield is still coming out?
Yeah.
Where they say?
So they said last E3, right, that it was all the games shown here will be within the next 12 months, and that means by this E3. And so is Starfield coming out by this E3? I'm still leaning towards we will be playing that game by E3, but I mean, I think just by then. I think it comes out like right when we're all like going to E3. But it could. I'm not going to be even a little bit surprised if it gets delayed into later 2023. But right now, I'm like more than 50% towards June still. That's where I'm at. How about you?
I think it moves towards the end of the year. And I kind of hope it moves towards the end of the year, selfishly. Just because I feel like that's a game that it needs a little more time to... I think that they know that the more time they can give it in the oven, the better it is in the long run, just because it has big potential. Like, the potential is huge. Like the thing they're weighing up is like, we can either weigh up, we upset gamers, who are truly the people who are going to be most upset by another few months delay. Like people, normies who even know about Skyrim and this is the next game from Skyrim, man, are gonna be like, we'll wait for another. Or they can either upset gamers, or they can pretty get closer to guaranteeing that this game is going to be an absolute banger, or like it's polished to a degree where it can perform and maybe even get to Skyrim numbers when it comes to performance and revenue and sales. And as a corporation, they take that second one every time. It makes sense to me. I would be like, gamers are mad? Good. Like, they're always mad. Who cares? Like, they're mad about everything. Let them be mad. And let's just make sure that we're going to sell crazy numbers.
Yeah, Mental points out, and I was going to bring this up, like, after Cyberpunk, people are much more willing, like, even gamers are much more like, maybe delays are good. And so, some gamers will be mad.
Bethesda does not have an edge runners to come out and be like, hey, man.
Yes, and then they also have a reputation. So it's like, anytime that they're backing stuff up so they can actually do that polish that you mentioned.
You just know that if there's a glitch in that game, If there's a single glitch,
yeah.
if there's a single wobbly texture in that game, the Reddit is going to absolutely be on fire.
Yep.
And so they're just going to be like, we got to give ourselves the best shot of not having anything show up.
Yeah.
Take as much time
and
as you need.
there are going to be a ton of glitches. It is still one of those games. Yeah, it's one of those games. I mean, it's an open world game where you could pick up every plate and cheese wheel in the world, right? So if that's the game they're still making, like the possibility space is so wide open. I mean, I think like
honestly, I would be disappointed if there weren't glitches.
Yeah, me too. It's never hurt. It's never hurt Skyrim for me. It's never hurt any of their games for me. So
I want the goofiest shit to be happening in space.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly where I'm at. Hitman Freelancer will launch later this month. This is that new mode for Hitman. This comes from Ben Leon at Gamer Actor. It was only a few days ago that IO Interactive announced that the most recent trilogy of Hitman games would be evolving and changing into a more cohesive experience known as Hitman World of Assassination, all in a bid to prepare for the Hitman Freelancer mode. Following up to this, the Danish developer has now also released a launch trailer for this brand new edition, giving us a further teaser of what it will serve up. Alongside the new trailer, IO has released a new blog post talking about Freelancer, which states the mode will be an independent experience where a lot of surrounding work of being an assassin is put into the player's hands. Tam, this is coming out January 26th, and I am personally very horny for this one. Have you played much Hitman?
Oh man, I've played some Hitman. I had to stop playing Hitman because it became a problem.
Yes.
I'm one of those people where if I see someone at the top of the leaderboard and it's a name I recognize, I'm like, I'm gonna ruin your day today.
Yeah.
And I will spend that time oh god, I think I played like one mission from Hitman for maybe like 7 hours.
Yes.
And I was like, this is a problem. I gotta stop. But Hitman is weird because it like ignites my love of stealth games, and then also is like allows me to be obsessive about making my friends feel bad about how good they are at games. Yep. So I've played some Hitman.
Yeah, I really like it. Is like such a good game to go deep on because like you can those levels they're these complex little working tick-tock clock things, and the more you learn them, the better you can play. I'm sure, but they are so much fun to learn. What this mode does, Freelancer, it is basically a roguelite mode. It takes the existing content and then it remixes it using a procedural process to give you something different each time. And over time, you are building up your collection of things you can then use in other levels. And so you have this home base. And then if you die, you kind of lose some of that stuff. So it's like you're trying to make this progress and trying not to mess up and trying to do a series of missions back to back so that you can build up your collection as big as possible. It's been really fun from what I've tested so far. I did play it a little bit in one of the early tests that they had, and it was a really good time. I'm like just very excited to have a reason to maybe go back to this game regularly. I've already created reasons because I'm like, oh yeah, we'll try this. We'll mess around with that. There's always fun escalation missions, and I think that the elusive targets was always a brilliant way to keep people engaged because it used that like, okay, you've learned these missions now by save scumming, do all these other things. Well, now it's putting you in a situation where you need to use all that knowledge, and everything's at risk because if you mess up, it's all done. But this Freelancer mode is like, okay, this goes in a different direction where it's like, no, it's a whole mode built on you just coming back and playing this game regularly, and I'm so here for it. I'm so ready for it, Tim.
Yeah, I think also it's a good, not an entry point, but like a re-entry point for people who may have fallen off. Because like, we love Hitman, but also that whole like Hitman saga is quite not messy, but it's like there's a lot of content to like get through, and it can be quite convoluted to get into it and figure stuff out. So I feel like almost a mode like this that allows people to just jump in, play a bunch of Hitman, and then leave without feeling like they need to burn through a lot of menus and figure this thing out, and like the seasons 1 and 2 and 3, and what does this mean? And it's a good entry or re-entry point for people who have some experience. Obviously, it's a bit complicated for newcomers entirely, but I feel like it's a good hook to bring people like us back in if we have like stepped away for a little while. Yeah,
it is a situation where you could see it being that could catch on with the community, and it could catch on with some streamers. And could become like a small little category off to the side of the community, and that's great. I'm not one that usually comes back to new modes, but this one's going to be very different. I am going to be playing this.
Yeah, I keep looking at to what degree it feels like I always kind of like putting stuff in and experiment with things that might appear in that Bond game. Because I keep seeing
Yeah.
like a lot of developers do that quite a lot. They'll like
Yeah.
use DLC to kind of come up with ideas that become other things in future games. And I keep seeing pieces of the Hitman game that I'm like, this is seems like a very Bond-like experiment you're doing here. And maybe this is like speaking to something around a persistent or like replayable mode in the upcoming Bond game.
Yeah, I mean, and this is just like where games are headed anyhow. I mean, even smaller indie games get these roguelite modes eventually. It seems much more robust here because it has to be for such a bigger game. But like Streets of Rage 4 is a recent one where like I played that game when it first came out, and then I went back to it recently, and now it's got all these extra modes, including one that's like this endless campaign that you get it, and you can modify your character by picking upgrades as you go, and so your character could be like way overpowered compared to how it should be in the normal game. It doesn't matter. This is an endless mode. Things are going to keep ramping up, and it's like, yeah, this is such a good idea. And every game, a lot of games, it seems like, are going in this direction where like, hey, we do want to be supported for longer. We want to be in the conversation for longer. Our game could keep selling sort of as long as we keep putting stuff out. And I'm glad that Hitman has found that. I mean, Hitman 2016 came out under Square Enix. They saw this future back then, and they're like, how can we create a game that is single player, but also can still be something, feel like a live service game still, and in a good way, in a satisfying way. And they figured a lot of that stuff out then with elusive targets. But like Square Enix looked at it and was like, this isn't going to work. We need to get rid of you. And they have figured it out.
Like it's bizarre because like obviously Square Enix didn't see what was happening here, but like IO has put together I firmly believe these two Hitman games is one of the greatest games of all time. Yep. And not only in terms of how it feels to play, but like design wise, there's so much good material in here, like to be like lessons for future game designers and like even current game designers, and the way it kind of like absorbs upcoming ideas or like new ideas or trends and like reworks them so effortlessly into a Hitman type experience. I think of it in a lot of ways in the same way as Fortnite, where like it feels like Fortnite is just so malleable. It feels Hitman is also similarly malleable, and it's obviously from the hard work of these incredibly talented devs. But it's just like I hope that Hitman retrospectively, when people look back at the industry and look back at games that are massively influential and did something that is like reaching so far and so ambitious and nailing it, that Hitman is remembered in that category.
I think like packaging it up as World of Assassination, just being like, that is the game now. It'd be like, yeah, World of Assassination, Hitman is one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, I think clearly the stealth gameplay, like you mentioned, is there. It's also one of the best immersive sims in terms of being able to mess around with that world, create emergent moments. It's just it nails that stuff. And you're right. I think that that is a direction of gameplay where we had every game was adding RPG elements for a decade straight. It does feel like the next decade is going to be every game adding immersive elements or immersive sim elements, so that more of the world is interactive, more of the world has this play space where anything can happen, and a lot of that stuff will be grown out of what the lessons that were learned and hard earned in Hitman. So yeah, I'm right there with you. Man, one of my favorite games of all time as well. All right, moving on. Assassin's Creed Mirage's scale shaped by open world exhaustion. This comes from Alex Hopley at Gamer Actor. Assassin's Creed.
This is Ubisoft and Ubisoft dressed as a hot dog, and we're all trying to find out who did this.
And it's
open world fatigue. Everyone's got open world fatigue. I don't know where this open world fatigue came from, but I think we need to change our games to make it so we're not giving open world fatigue. Who caused that?
Yeah, they caused it, and like even this is like, that's not really what this is about. Like this was never about, oh, we need to make a smaller Assassin's Creed because things have gotten out of hand. Young man, what have you done? And they're like, yeah, looking at themselves in the mirror. It's like, no, they needed another Assassin's Creed. This was DLC they were making for a different Assassin's Creed that was way too fucking big. And they're like, let's let's just take that. This is giant DLC for a giant game. Let's just take it out, make it its own game, and sell it to them again for $60. And it's like, I'm sure it's going to be good still, because it seems like they're setting it up to be like, oh, it's like an older Assassin's Creed. We're taking a lot of the RPG stuff. It's like, well, it was always going to be this self-contained thing. But yeah, so this was never really about that. But I'm sure they are happy to tell that tale now, as they've heard over and over again that people have open world exhaustion, right?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Well, let's see if there's another massive Assassin's Creed game after this, where they're going to be yeah, congrats everyone, we got rid of the fatigue. We're back to old open world. Let's go.
Yeah, but that big Assassin's Creed, live service one, Infinity or whatever they're calling it. That is going to just be the big RPGs back to back to back. Yes, they're going right back. This is a quick stop off at Nostalgia Land when games were still manageable and didn't make you feel like you had to have a part-time job just to play them, and then right back onto the roller coaster of games being 90 to 100 hours. Absolutely.
It's just, I imagine, just like we are all looking for the person responsible for this, and it's like Assassin's Creed Valhalla in the background, just like, don't look at me, please.
I'm trying to see if I have a Yves Guillemot voice in me right now, and I'm sick. We are all looking who is responsible for this. That's the best I could do. Yeah, best I could do.
I'm glad this is happening, though, because I am one of those people who loves that franchise, but also is massively fatigued by it. I genuinely had a moment where I opened Valhalla, and I was like, I don't think I can do this. I really cannot think. I don't think I can do this. I've played Valhalla maybe for like 5 or 6 hours, and then eventually I was like, I can't. I don't have it in me.
Tam's review, just in a dark room, sitting there with Assassin's Creed Valhalla on the screen. I can't fucking do this.
I cannot do this. I was just like, I can't. And like, I have not returned to it, and I keep thinking about returning to it, and every time I do, I'm just like, it's too much. It's too much. I mean, having said that, I have played Elden Ring for like crazy amounts of hours, but also that Elden Ring feels curated. Everything feels like genuine and meaningful, whereas this is like, run to this icon and maybe something cool will happen.
Right. It's map barf. It's
map barf.
It's completely just pasted. Every square inch is not considered. It is filled up with content. It's just painted. And then Elden Ring is the exact opposite, which is why it feels so different. It is every square inch is considered, and boy, that makes a huge difference.
But I genuinely am excited for Mirage. Mirage is the most I've been excited for an Assassin's Creed game in a long, long time. Probably since, I don't know, Syndicate, or maybe even Black Flag or something like that. But I am excited that they're reducing the scope of it to a degree. 2, they're going back to the Middle East, which is where I thought it was the most interesting. And they hopefully will have a story that kind of is a little more focused, because I lost the thread in that story. Like, I don't know what's going on anymore.
It's hopeless.
I miss the old days when maybe Desmond was a assassin.
Yeah, and
in the modern day.
At this point, is anyone I'm interacting with, do they even know who Desmond is? It doesn't seem like it's completely forgotten.
He came back recently. He's back, okay, I think, isn't he? He came back. I spoke to Jordan.
Bully 2, Desmond's back, Jack. All right.
Yeah, I spoke to Jordan on who's the Assassin's Creed super expert on our side, and he explained the ending of one of the DLCs and how it ties back in. And I remember being so just upset with the words he was saying. I immediately forgot what he was telling me. So, but I do remember there's some wacky shit going on with the end of Assassin's Creed currently.
I will. So once I get Jordan on GMM. Okay, we'll just have him explain the whole thing. All right, we'll do it.
Just have him explain it.
Okay.
He will do it as well. He knows that shit inside out.
Oh, I love that.
He tells me, "Hey, I'm writing this thing about Assassin's Creed story for fun," and I'm like, "You're a weird person." Yeah,
you just back away slowly, like, all right, I don't want to get involved in this. Yeah. Okay, PlayStation 5 version 7.0 is coming, and it includes Discord and cloud streaming for PS5 games.
Yes! Firmware updates!
Yes! Here we go. This is it. This is the Friday news we need. Listen, to make up for this, I got a good Friday story for you after this. You just stick with me, Tam, and I'll get you there. I'll get you there in the end. Insider gaming sources have provided information on what to expect with the upcoming PlayStation 5 7.0 update. The update is currently scheduled for March 8th. and it will include full Discord integration that was revealed in 2021. In addition to the Discord integration, sources have revealed that PlayStation 5 games will also be streamable on the PlayStation 5. This is, from Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming. In parentheses here, he says, to save on that all-important drive space. And it really is probably just that, right? People could try PlayStation 5 games now over the cloud and not have to download them and take up space or have to delete other stuff. Because other than that, like, I don't really need to be streaming games, PS5 games to my PS5, Tam. That seems kind of like, that's why I bought a PS5, right?
That's big Mark Jacobs by Mark Jacobs
for
Mark
exactly.
Jacobs energy.
Sure. I mean, I guess it's better not having it. It's good to have options. But that Discord integration is pretty cool. I'm glad that seems like we're gonna have pretty good parity where between Xbox and PlayStation. If everyone wants to talk, we had ways to do that before, but now it's all just Discord all the way down, and that's real nice, right?
I need to check whether Discord on consoles does that thing where it's like, hey, this person is playing this game, because I don't need my Discord on PlayStation snitching on me when I'm playing embargo games.
It definitely does do. That's all. I think it's one of the only things it does right now. So if you've integrated Discord before, it has been snitching on you.
I think
it snitches on me on my tablet, where I have an Android tablet, and my girls use it a lot, and they play games on there. And so my Discord would be like, Grubb, why have you been playing this like kids like a cat's a dentist Barbie doll game for like 7 hours? I'm like, no, they just left it on. It's on the floor somewhere, man. I don't know where it is, and no one ever believes me. So, but yeah, that Discord feature needs to checks itself. Before it gets me in trouble. All right. John Carpenter may have just confirmed a Dead Space movie. It's no secret that John Carpenter, legendary horror director, plays video games, but back at the end of 2021, he praised Halo Infinite for being one of the best games in the franchise, particularly where its campaign was concerned. Considering his involvement...
Bold move by John Carpenter there. Bold move.
I'm right there with John Carpenter. I love that campaign. That's the only Halo campaign I've actually finished with Halo. Well, I think I've finished Halo 2s, but whatever. Considering his involvement in horror and video games, some have picked John Carpenter as a dream director for a Dead Space movie. However, speaking with Variety, Carpenter stated that there's already another director lined up for the project. He said, and this is a quote, "I'm a big video game fan, so I played all the games. I was down looking at the new digital cameras, the Red, and happened to mention to them that I would love to do a Dead Space film. That just went around, and everybody said, oh, when are you going to do it? And I'm not going to do it. I think they already have another director involved, and they haven't asked me to do it." They need to let John Carpenter do it. Damn, this is it. Like,
let John Carpenter cook.
Let
him cook.
You put him in the kitchen, and you get out of it. You stand back and let him cook.
Yeah, this is insane. Who is this? I mean, like, it's Hollywood, so this could be a reference to something from decades ago. Right. Like when they first announced Dead Space, the video game, EA may have like gone around and shopped it and shit like that. And some director might have been like, yeah, I might take a look at that one day, because that's how Hollywood works, right? Like,
yes, and it's like he could have mentioned it to his agent or something. His agent's like, "That's like, what are you talking? What is that?" And like,
what is that?
I think John, I think someone's already working on that. We need to get you working on something realistic or something. This could be anything. You're right. It's Hollywood, completely unreliable. More than anything, though, I want John Carpenter to make a video game movie. He's old, but the man can still make movies. So
yeah. I think like it. I don't know. I feel like get him involved to some degree. It makes sense. But I just love that. The crux of the story is John Carpenter is still a big gamer, and that's wonderful.
Yes, absolutely.
That's beautiful.
Finally, the official Pokemon TikTok account accidentally shared expletive-riddled clip.
Now we're talking.
Here we go. I'll bring this up for everybody. I'll play it here in a second. Though everybody loves Pokemon, this comes from Stephen T. Wright at GameSpot. Even though everybody loves Pokemon, like a lot of Nintendo's popular franchises, the games are known for their child-friendly tone. It appears that someone with access to the official Pokemon TikTok account may have momentarily forgotten this, as it posted a rather amusing and now deleted clip that happens to feature a volley of curse words. Let me just bring it up here and make sure that people are actually going to be able to hear it. Brace your ears. I have no idea how loud this is going to be.
If you're fucking happy and you motherfucking know, clap your motherfucking hands. If you're fucking happy and you motherfucking know, clap your motherfucking hands. If you're fucking happy and you motherfucking know it, and you really motherfucking want to motherfucking show it. If you're motherfucking happy and you motherfucking know it, clap your motherfucking hands. If you're fucking happy and you motherfucking know it, clap your motherfucking hands.
That's incredible. Why'd they delete that? It's so good.
I have no idea. I love that whoever's in charge of this like just cannot understand like fast rap. So they're just like every time they listen to a Twister track, they're like, it's just silent. I can't hear anything. What's going on?
It's operating on a frequency I just can't understand. I can't even hear it.
I don't hear any swear words.
It's the video is just Pikachu. It's like men in suits, and it's Pikachu and Lucario. Lucario. And
I was waiting to see where you went.
I was gonna say Lufia. I was gonna go Lufia, and then I pulled back at the last second. Lucario. And then they just slap hands when the guy says, if you're motherfucking happy, clap your hands. That's very good. That's gonna be in my head all day. By the way. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is good. I love that. That's fantastic.
All right.
Good job to whoever put that up. Let it go. Come on, Pokemon Company.
Yeah,
let's have one.
Let your hair down.
Let your hair down. You just made a game that is a hot mess and it sold $1 billion.
Yeah, you can get away with anything. You can kill a man.
Anything now. Yeah, you could do anything. You put out a game that was broken in a lot of regards and it popped off. People love it. They were putting it on Game of the Year list. You can do anything you want.
All year we were like, Splatoon 3 is selling so much, like in Japan, just physical games. That Pokemon game has sold like 1.5 million copies more than that Splatoon game. It is making so much money.
It's crazy. You can do that. You're can sell busted. If you can sell busted games, you can put out a TikTok where
you can put out a
Lucario says
Busta Rhymes,
and a Pikachu comes up when the Lucario's like motherfucking. Right.
All right. Let's get to the poll. Yesterday, I asked, are there any Ubisoft games coming soon that you are hopeful for? 30.7% said yes. 69.3% said no. Tim, I'm not hopeful for that Prince of Persia game. What's the thing?
There are people out there who are actively looking forward to Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yes.
Spare a thought for those people,
yes,
okay?
Those poor souls.
People are like, oh no, Skull and Bones has been delayed. Meanwhile, Beyond Good and Evil 2 fans are like...
those lost children of video games.
I joke to you.
Yeah. Yes, you are. I mean, listen, I think that they might be working on something called Beyond Good and Evil 2 still there. I don't think it ever
it's an
really...
NFT, baby. Get ready.
It doesn't ever really come out.
It's going to be one of those... We have released... Ubisoft's going to put out a press release, and it's going to be like, we have released Beyond Good and Evil 2 as an NFT, and the only person that bought it is Yves Guillemot, and that is the end of that.
Moving on. Never ask about it again. So.
Yeah, don't ask about it. It got released. One person bought it for a lot of money, and somehow Ubisoft ended up with all that money, and we're done.
I am, like, I guess, kind of looking forward to a Star Wars game from Massive. That seems like, or I'm sorry, yes, they have the Star Wars game from Massive, right? Yeah. I'm like, that sounds like a good combination, but also it's Ubisoft. It's like, man, even if it comes out, if it's not as successful as The Division, like they weren't even happy with The Division. It seems like in the end, so they're not sticking with that. So yeah, I don't know.
I'm excited for Assassin's Creed. I'm looking forward to the other thing that I'm doing. The only thing I am like actively excited about, to the point where Ubisoft's financial woes and other things makes me worried about the future it has, is the Splinter Cell game.
Yeah.
Like I have been waiting so long for a Splinter Cell game, and when they finally are like, we're remaking Splinter Cell, that just the entire company starts to like shit the bed. I hope that Ubisoft bounces back, because there are a lot of people there, a lot of creative people there who don't deserve to be, out of jobs and have been working hard. But also, I need that Splinter Cell game, please.
Yep. And it's just like that Splinter Cell game. Okay, they're doing the remake. Just do that, and then do a version of Spies versus Mercs as a free-to-play new online multiplayer game. That could be like your live service game if you need one of those. Do both.
Are busy making Battle Royale games, okay?
Yeah,
we've got Battle Royale games happening.
We have Tom Clancy's Punk Rock X Defiant. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Good luck with all that, Ubisoft.
Someone just needs to go into Ubisoft, like Ubisoft. Eve, let me in. Show me all your games, and I'll tell you which ones cancel, which ones keep.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you how easy clap. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to write out the poll for tomorrow, but while I do that, what do we have happening for the rest of today on Giant Bomb and elsewhere, Tam?
I don't actually. I think UPF is happening today. and I don't know what. I think it's the neon white speedrun thing, right? Maybe.
I was sick on Monday, so I was at the meeting, and I woke up to. I'm like, man, what's going on with UPF?
This could be incorrect, but I think they might be bringing like some games done quick,
games to quick stuff.
Or
That's
games
right.
done quick stuff, yeah, and chatting over it, and like talking about that kind of stuff. Sekiro Choa is on the calendar, but I don't know if it's still happening today. It was with Jan yesterday. I didn't ask him.
He might let us know in chat here in a second.
Yeah, maybe he's there. But I think the speedrun stuff is going to be UPF, which is fun. There were like some wild speedruns at Games Done Quick. So that'll be fun.
Tim, I asked the poll, do you usually go back to games you've already played when they get new modes? Yes, no. But what weird ass non sequitur image should I add here to really?
I think you should put
game?
that picture of the. No, actually, maybe I was gonna say maybe you should put that Pokemon Company.
I could just add that as a quote tweet there. Yeah, I got that. Okay.
Maybe just do a screenshot of it.
Yes. Okay. There we go.
Yeah, maybe just do a screenshot of it. Nintendo. We don't want to upset Nintendo, okay? We don't want to upset Pokemon Company, okay?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. All right, let's see here.
If you're fucking happy.
All right, well, I'll get that. In the meantime, though, Tam, thank you so much for spending today talking with me about video games.
Thank you for having me again. Once again, it was a Friday, so we had to bring the Friday energy.
Yep. Got through it.
The moment, chat, I want you to know, the moment this ends, me and Jeff are going to just collapse.
I'm going to turn into a pool of liquid.
Of sadness, and we're just going to cry, and because we are tired. But we wanted to, while we were here for you, we wanted to raise the energy levels, and I hope that we've done that for you.
Yeah, I hope that you're proud of us. Tam, I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you, Jeff.
Thank you very much.
I genuinely, truly love you.
Yeah, I love you too, man.
To see.
Thanks, dude.
Is this the last episode of Game Mess Morning?
Yeah, who knows? It could be a season finale. We'll see, and we'll leave it on a cliffhanger. We'll see if we're back Monday. It's a holiday. We won't be. So, yeah. So see you all on Wednesday. You're the best audience in gaming. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.